Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm having breakfast from a 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. A classic way to start the day, especially during the hot summer season. Japan has over 60,000 convenience stores from 7-Eleven to Lawson and Family Mart. They are literally everywhere. You will find them on street corners, along highways, inside train stations. They are a part of daily life and nearly impossible to miss. So I began my morning at a beautiful park. Then I was heading to the lake. So I walked past the lake where preparations are already underway for the city's biggest fireworks festival. You can feel the excitement building, tents going up, cables being laid, and a summer buzz in the air. It's incredibly hot though. But that's part of the charm of Japanese summer. The cicadas are loud, the sun is blazing, and the streets are filled with students enjoying their summer vacation. Whether you are visiting or living here, grabbing a quick bite from a 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan is part of daily life. It's reliable, affordable, and surprisingly delicious. So join me as we take a peaceful walk, soak in the summer atmosphere, and enjoy a simple breakfast from the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. I started my morning at a quiet park nearby. It's one of those small but beautiful places tucked away from the noise. Shaded walking paths, benches under old trees, and just enough breeze to take the edge off the heat. Even this early in the day, the summer sun in Japan is already intense. You can feel it pressing down from above, making everything shimmer a little in the light. From the park, I made my way toward the lake, a place that holds a special charm throughout the year, but especially in summer. This lake is well known locally for its stunning sunset. In the evening, the whole surface turns gold and pink, and people from around the city come to sit by the edge just to watch the sky change. It's also popular for fishing. On cooler mornings and weekends, you will see older folks with their tackle boxes, kids with tiny rods, and even some people trying their luck. Freshwater clams can be found here too. People come with the small nets and buckets, crouching by the edge in the shallow water. It's one of those peaceful traditions that hasn't changed much in decades, but today the lake felt different. As I walked along the path, I noticed signs of preparation. Crews were already setting up for the big event. This lake is the center stage for the city's summer fireworks festival, the biggest event of the year. It happens once every August, and it's a huge deal. Thousands of people line the streets and gather along the shore. Food stalls, lanterns, music, and of course the fireworks themselves. Some of the biggest and most beautiful displays in the region are launched from floating barges right in the middle of this lake. Right now the setup was still in the early stages. Tent poles going up, scaffolding being built, people in reflective vests shouting instructions. Even though it's just the beginning, you can already feel the excitement in the air. It's the kind of anticipation that only comes in the summer. The heat is strong today, very strong. It's already 32 degrees in the early morning, but there is a kind of beauty in it too. The cicadas are singing like a background soundtrack. The trees are deep green and the water reflects the sun like glass. It's a simple walk, but with nature all around, a little history under your feet, and the festival on the horizon, it feels like something special. After a short peaceful walk along the lake, I finally saw it, the familiar red, green and orange sign of 7-Eleven. Stepping into the cool air-conditioned store was like entering a different world from the hot summer streets outside. Inside the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan, everything was spotless and perfectly organized. The soft background music, the hum of the coolers, and the subtle smell of freshly made food created a surprisingly calm atmosphere. As I slowly walked through the aisles, I passed rows of beautifully packaged onigiri, colorful drinks, ready-made meals, and a wide variety of snacks. It's amazing how much is packed into one small space. The first item I grabbed was the classic tuna mayo onigiri. It's one of the most popular choices here at 7-Eleven in Japan. Soft rice, creamy tuna, and that perfect salty seaweed wrap. But of course, there are so many other options like salmon, umeboshi, and so on. As I looked around, I saw shelves full of neatly arranged sandwiches, from egg salad to ham and cheese, even fruit-filled ones. There was tofu, perfect for a light and healthy bite, and natto too for those who like it fermented and sticky. In the fridge section, fresh salads caught my eye, colorful, crisp, and ready to eat. I also spotted cold noodles like hiyashi chuka, ideal for a hot summer morning like this one. And if you are looking for something warm, there is a whole variety of miso soups with clams, tofu, seaweed, or green onion. Eating breakfast in the convenience store in Japan is honestly such a unique experience. Quick, cheap, and surprisingly delicious. I also noticed a few office workers were picking up breakfast from 7-Eleven convenience store too. The next item I chose was the rolled omelette, tamagoyaki. It's slightly sweet, soft, and fluffy, and honestly one of my favorite things to eat in the morning. Tamagoyaki is a classic part of Japanese breakfasts and bento boxes. At 7-Eleven it comes pre-sliced and ready to eat, super convenient. You can eat it cold, but it still tastes great. Sometimes it even has dashi, that light fish broth, which gives it a savory depth. Eating breakfast in the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan really gives you a taste of everyday life here. Simple, satisfying, and affordable. Next, it was time to choose coffee for breakfast from 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. I picked up a bottle of fire latte, my absolute favorite out of all the coffee drinks available at 7-Eleven in Japan. It's cold, smooth, and has just the right balance of sweetness and bitterness. Super refreshing, especially on a warm morning like this. There are tons of coffee options here. Canned, bottled, sweet, black, but fire always stands out for me. It's affordable, easy to grab, and tastes amazing, straight from the fridge. Having a chilled latte like this really rounds out the whole breakfast experience at a Japanese convenience store. After grabbing few items, I thought about getting something from the bakery section too. 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan has a tempting variety of breads and pastries. But then I reminded myself maybe bread isn't the healthiest option for breakfast. I also noticed travelers wandered in for a quick drink and locals browsed curiously the aisles in no hurry, just like me. It felt relaxed but efficient, like everything had a rhythm. I was taking my time looking around, thinking about what to get. There is something enjoyable about the whole experience. So instead of bakery, I decided to end my shopping with something lighter, like yogurt. They have so many choices. Fruit yogurt, plain, even protein-packed ones. A healthier option to finish my morning visit to the convenience store in Japan. I was torn between plain strawberry and blueberry yogurt, and finally went with the blueberry zero-fat yogurt, a simple healthy choice to wrap up my morning at the convenience store in Japan. After finishing my shopping and paying for my breakfast in the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan, I stepped back out into the warm summer morning. The sun was already shining brightly, and the air had that humid, sleepy feeling typical of August. I made my way toward the lake, looking for a quiet place to sit down and enjoy my food. As I walked along the path, cicadas chirped loudly in the trees, and the sound of gentle waves lapping against the shore created a peaceful rhythm. Then, just a little further ahead, I spotted exactly what I was looking for. A small covered shed with wooden benches, right near the edge of the lake. It was shaded and quiet, with a great view of the water. I sat down, took a deep breath, and pulled out my breakfast from the 7-Eleven bag. The breeze felt nice, and the smell of nature mixed with the subtle aroma of my food. There is something really relaxing about eating breakfast outdoors in Japan, especially after a slow morning walk. I was ready to enjoy every bite. So here is again my breakfast from the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. I kept it simple but satisfying. First up, the classic tuna mayo onigiri, one of my all-time favorites. Soft rice with that creamy, savory filling inside. I also picked up a rolled omelette, or tamagoyaki. It's slightly sweet, fluffy, and really comforting in the morning. For something light and refreshing, I chose a zero-fat blueberry yogurt. I was hesitating between plain strawberry and blueberry, but in the end, blueberry won me over. And to top it all off, a very cold bottle of fire latte. It's rich, slightly sweet, and has that perfect chilled coffee kick to start the day. With this view of the lake, the shade, and the breeze, I couldn't ask for a better place or a better breakfast. I started with the tuna mayo onigiri from the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. Honestly, it's one of the safest and most satisfying choices you can make when you are not in the mood to take risks. As I unwrapped the plastic, I could already smell the familiar comforting scent of the rice. The packaging is always so clever. It keeps the seaweed crispy until the last second. The first bite, just perfect. The rice was soft and slightly warm from being out in the sun just a little, and the tuna mayo inside was creamy, salty, and smooth. That mix of textures, the soft rice, the creamy feeling, and the slight crunch of the nori makes it one of those simple joys you can always count on. I took my time, enjoying each bite as I looked out over the lake. The sun sparkled on the surface of the water, and dragonflies zipped past every now and then. It was quiet except for the constant background of cicadas, very typical of summer morning in Japan. A few ducks swam lazily by in the distance, and it honestly felt like time had slowed down just for breakfast. That tuna mayo onigiri might have cost just a couple hundred yen, but in that moment it felt like a little luxury. Convenience store food in Japan never ceases to amaze me with how good it is. Even something this simple feels like it was made with care. One onigiri down and already my morning felt complete. After finishing the tuna mayo onigiri, I just sat back for a moment, listening to the cicadas, feeling the breeze, and watching the sunlight shimmer on the lake. Next, I moved on to the rolled omelette, the tamagoyaki, from the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. This is something I always look forward to. It's such a simple item, but there is something comforting about it. I had to use chopsticks for the rolled omelette, which made it feel more like a proper Japanese breakfast, even it came from a 7-Eleven convenience store. It added a little extra charm to the moment. That gentle yellow color, the soft texture, it almost reminds me of a homemade breakfast. I opened the package carefully and picked up the first piece. It had a smooth, almost glossy surface, and you could see the delicate layers rolled tightly together. The moment I took a bite, it just melted in my mouth. Slightly sweet, fluffy, and warm from sitting in the sun for a little while. It was like eating a piece of nostalgia. Tamagoyaki is one of those things that really speaks to Japanese home cooking. Even though I bought this one at a convenience store, it still had that handmade taste. It wasn't too salty or too eggy, just the perfect balance of a flavor. A little sweet with that soft sponge-like texture that makes you want to close your eyes and enjoy it slowly. I sat on the bench under the shade, watching the breeze ripple across the lake. I kept nibbling piece by piece. The cicadas were still buzzing in the trees, and a light wind carried the smell of the water and summer grass. There was a family nearby having a picnic, and I could hear children laughing in the distance. All of it just made this simple rolled omelette feel more special. Convenience store breakfasts in Japan don't try to be fancy, but somehow they still feel thoughtful. The tamagoyaki was gone quicker than I expected, and I already knew I'd be craving it again the next time I visited 7-Eleven. After finishing the rolled omelette from the convenience store, I didn't rush into the next item. I just sat there quietly enjoying the stillness around me. The breeze was gentle, the cicadas were singing, and the lake shimmered softly under the summer sun. It felt like the whole world had slowed down for a while. Just me, the view, and the calm morning in Japan. After sitting for a while and enjoying the peaceful lakeside atmosphere, I moved on to my dessert, the zero-fat blueberry yogurt from the 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. I had been looking forward to this one. I had stood there in front of the yogurt section earlier, hesitating between plain strawberry and blueberry, and I'm glad I chose blueberry in the end. I peeled back the lid slowly, and the first thing that hit me was the soft, fruity aroma of blueberries. It smelled fresh, not too sweet, not too artificial, just a gentle, pleasant scent. The texture looked smooth and creamy, even though it was zero fat. I took a spoonful and gave it a taste. Cold, light, and refreshing. The yogurt had a clean tanginess, and the blueberry flavor was subtle but real. There were little bits of fruit mixed in, adding a nice contrast in the texture. It wasn't overly sweet, which made it feel like a perfect choice for a summer morning like this. As I kept eating, I couldn't help but appreciate how even something as simple as a yogurt from a convenience store could feel so satisfying in the right setting. The breeze was still flowing through the trees. The cicadas kept buzzing, and every bite just felt like it belonged in that moment. Light, healthy, and just enough to cleanse the palate after the onigiri and tamagoyaki. The best part was how balanced it felt, not heavy like some desserts and not too cold to numb the taste. It was just right. A simple pleasure from 7-Eleven enjoyed slowly by the lake, with nothing else to do but relax. I finished the last spoonful of the yogurt and gave the cup a quick swirl to get every bit. Simple, clean, and satisfying, just like the rest of this quiet morning by the lake. Nothing fancy, just enjoying it to the very end before setting it aside neatly. And finally, the last item of my breakfast from the convenience store in Japan, the cold fire latte. I saved this one for last. There is just something so right about ending a quiet lakeside breakfast with coffee, especially one this cold and refreshing. I held the bottle and it was still chilled, with tiny beads of condensation running down the sides. That first sip was exactly what I needed, bold but smooth, with just a little sweetness. It had that roasted flavor that hits you in the best way, comforting, energizing, and deeply satisfying. For something you can grab in seconds from a convenience store in Japan, it really does the job better than expected. As I sat there sipping, I looked out at the lake again. The breeze had picked up a little, cicadas buzzing just as loud as ever. I felt no rush, no pressure, just a calm moment to enjoy this coffee and let the morning unfold slowly. What I love about the convenience store in Japan is how complete and thoughtful even a simple breakfast can feel. From onigiri to yogurt to this fire latte, everything comes together so well. You don't need a big cafe or fancy brunch spot. Just a few quiet minutes, a shady bench, and a good coffee. I didn't finish the whole bottle right away. Instead, I decided to save the rest for later. After all, it's called Fire One Day Latte, so I figured I might as well let it keep me company throughout the day. Just a few more sips tucked away in my bag, ready for the next relaxing moment. The iced coffee honestly was a perfect way to close out this peaceful breakfast from 7-Eleven convenience store by the lake. Thanks for joining me on this peaceful morning as I enjoyed a simple but satisfying breakfast from a 7-Eleven convenience store in Japan. From the tuna mayo onigiri to the cold fire one day latte, every bite felt like a small moment of happiness by the lake. If you enjoyed this video and love exploring convenience store food in Japan, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next adventure. Let me know in the comments what's your go-to item at a Japanese convenience store. For more videos about Japanese food, local life, and everyday moments in Japan, stick around. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Sayonara.